countries. In the eastern and northern parts of the country, millions are struggling to put food on the table. Not only has food become hard to come by, but also other essential services like healthcare. The sexual and reproductive health of women and girls is being adversely affected as they're moving further away from health facilities. A reporter, Violet Auma, has been to Isiolo, one of the most affected counties. She followed a team of volunteer nurses who are going after the women on the move and offering free reproductive health services. Here is her report.
A dusty road through miles and miles of barren, deserted land leads us to a town village in Isiolo County. The residents here have not seen a drop of rain for months. The rivers have dried up, the fields are bare, and the little livestock the villagers had are no more. Unlike many villages in Isiolo, which have been abandoned by locals in search of water, pasture and food, I met a group of locals outside a church. Word had gone round that a group of doctors will be visiting the area. 28-year-old Rose Luosi, a mother of 6, is among those who arrived here early, at least to get health services which have been hard to come by. Other than getting medication for her 7-year-old boy whose eyes were swollen, she's in dire need of family planning services.
I really needed a family planning method. I looked for it for a long time without success.
Rose says since the passing of her husband 5 years ago after a bandit attack, life has not been the same. Bandits from a neighboring community had raided the area and stole all their goats at the time. She got pregnant again with her 6th child. This one, she says, was unplanned.
This one, I told you I got pregnant in the desert. My husband left me with the other one. For people like me without a husband, other men tend to lie to us and take off after pregnancy.
Getting 500 shillings that will facilitate her transport to and from Eremit Hospital, which is the nearest to her, is still an uphill task for her. And especially now when the drought has pushed her to the brink of starvation.
Now, 1 kilogram of flour goes for 120 shillings. If I get that, will I go to the hospital or will I buy food for my children?
But today she's lucky. A group of nurses and doctors from Reproductive Health Network Kenya is going where government officials or international aid for that matter cannot go, taking medical services to communities mostly affected by drought. Kenya for Kenyans, traveling deep in the interior to make a difference.
This is Jadel. It has 2 roads.
Among the doctors offering the services is Kefin Otieno. Kefin runs a small clinic in Kilifi County, but came to Isiolo together with her colleagues to offer humanitarian aid.
We saw the gaps, we saw the numbers of teenage pregnancies. We saw lack of information was overwhelming, and of course, we looked at the terrain. We also looked at the setup of the facilities. The distance is just too much.
Dr. Edison Omolo is a man who is passionate about health and well-being of women and children.
We've been doing HIV screening, we've been doing STI screening, we've been offering, we've been taking care of mothers who need ANC services. There's contraceptives.
Rose is one of the clients who have accessed family planning services today. Long-term method.
I have decided to embrace family planning because if I don't, I might get more kids. If the current situation persists, my kids and I could die of hunger.
It is a sigh of relief for her. At least half of her problems have been solved. She can now focus on the search for food for her children. For 2 days, I follow the team of nurses as they traverse Isiolo County.
Major challenges that we're experiencing is movement, migration. You'll find that we come to a certain location, like today, we've been told that most of the young men and women are actually out in the field very early in the morning to go and look for pastures or something to come and feed their family. We'll keep shifting. locations, moving from one location to another, trying to see or to look for these women and girls who are in need of these SRHR services.
It is in this unfinished house where nurses have set up medical services where they're offering to locals here. On the other side of the corner, there is a trudge where they are able to take the weight of the locals whenever they come in. And on the other side, we have two tables where they are offering consultation services. The other side, they have set up a table where there is a pharmacy there where locals have just lined up to get medication. And behind me, where there is a white curtain, is where reproductive health services are being offered. In here, Kefin handles reproductive health for tens of women, including offering antenatal care. One of her clients is a 17-year-old Elizabeth, not her real name. She is pregnant and due in 3 months.
Deliver in hospital, don't deliver at home.
We provide services like long-term and short-term contraceptives at no cost. And we also provide information on where they can get these services in case we leave the county.
The Isiolo County Reproductive Health Coordinator, Francisca Kope, says teenage pregnancies is a thorny issue in the area.
When we allow them to deliver like that, most of these children die before they reach the age of maybe 5 years due to malnutrition and other problems.
Natome's husband is among those who left with their livestock in search of pasture.
Unaona hii ya nyuma, unaona kama ni ile ule wao unasema ndio ya.
I'm always confused when you see the younger one. He looks taller than the first one. I decided to go for family planning.
She is among those who've got her family planning method today.
Because going to Eremet Hospital is 250 shillings and 250 coming back. Where will I get the 500 shillings yet I don't even have food?
She says women here shoulder responsibilities amid its challenges of drought, banditry attack, and irresponsible men.
Wasamburu, nyuma ya hizi manyumba, ni marisasi basi wa.
Samburus were firing guns behind these houses. Our men ran away, leaving us with the children. They refused to help us with their children and ran away. That's why we decided to go for family planning to help us with our problems.
Nathome now champions for family planning use in her community.
Sai hakuna mama tena.
There's no woman here who doesn't use family planning. Maybe those who want to get pregnant.
Climate change has worsened the situation. It has severely affected the uptake of sexual reproductive health services in Isiolo County. Isiolo has experienced a reduction of contraception uptake from 39% in 2020 to 37% last year, and the trend may continue due to prolonged drought since many are moving away from health facilities in search of water and food.
There are some months that we didn't have the commodities, so that also has contributed. And also this drought, it has made people to move far from where they can get the services.
Other than the drought, poverty, early marriages, lack of awareness, myths and misconceptions are some of other challenges that are leading to low uptake of family planning in the region.
They tell you this woman has put the family planning without my permission. So remove or I'll cut. We have also changed the name, the family planning, to a more palatable word. That is child spacing. It is more conceived than the family planning.
Akope appreciates government-private partnership and especially this particular group that is offering family planning services to residents at a time when most of the commodities are not available in the county.
The 3 years implant, that is NXT, already we have a shortage in some facilities.
They experience extensive commodity stockouts, so they are not there. So women and girls who come to seek for these services, they are referred to other facilities or they are written a subscription to go and buy. They want to feed their families, so really going to buy contraceptives is not something that is on their minds.
As the doctors wind up the medical camp in Isiolo, they acknowledge the need of multi-sectoral approach in addressing issues around sexual and reproductive health.
We let the services be available. Let the conversation be a dialogue. If we wait, then probably in 5 years to come, we may not have young girls in school.
But as that remains to be done, Omolo, Kefin and their team will continue spreading good cheers on women's faces, going where many are hesitant to go, if only to lessen people's burden even just a little.
If we could have gotten information about family planning much earlier, we might be having only 4, 3, or maybe 5 kids.
Violet Auma, TV 47, Isiolo County.
Thank you for that. Highlighting that particular story, Violet Auma, it is quite definitely a story and a whole conversation that we should be having as a country. Now to matters sports. The Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Sports and the Arts, Babu Namamba, has called